Hello everyone. Hope you understand the concept of what we have discussed on incenter. And I told you very clearly, if at all you have any kind of difficulty in understanding the derivation of incenter, you can update me. I'm telling you the derivations in coordinate geometry are so lengthy in certain areas because in upcoming journey you'll be talking about the straight lines, circles, a pair of straight lines, and conic sections. All these we'll be having more number of derivations with a lot of logical thinkings. The fundamentals what we are discussing now are most valuable for you people in facing the upcoming chapters, as I told you initially already. So please be alert, okay, and listen properly and analyze the stepwise derivations. And as I said you already, if you don't understand at any point, you just get back to the video and play it again. Okay, watch it once again. If even though if you don't get, once again you try it. Okay, in such a way you are supposed to do, but you don't undergo any kind of tension at all. Okay, you should be self motivated all the times. Fine. So far we have been discussing various centers of the triangle. What are they? The first one we have discussed centroid, and then incenter, and then circumcenter. In today's lecture we are going to see orthocenter of the triangle, and then we'll be dealing with some problems on all these centers so that you can understand how to have the approach. In today's problems you will come to know what are the logical things behind the problems, so that you'll be confident over the centers of the various centers of the triangle. Okay. Yeah, before going to the ortho center, let me give you the recall in brief again about the centroid, in center, and ortho center, because very important area. We have to keep on revising more number of times. What is centroid for the given three coordinates of the triangle? Centroid G is equal to sum of the x coordinates, that is x1 plus x2 plus x3 by 3. Similarly, y coordinate y2 plus y1 plus y2 plus y3 by 3, and the coordinates of in center are given by ax1 plus bx2 plus cx3 by a plus b plus c, and ay1 plus by2 plus cy3 by a plus b plus c. What are the coordinates x1 y1, x2 y2, and x3 y3, where a b c are the sides of the lengths of the sides of the triangle. Fine. And here another valid point is G divides the medians in what ratio? 2:1 ratio. This is very valuable point. And coming to the next case, that is circumcenter. What is circumcenter? Circumcenter nothing but the point of intersection of the perpendicular bisectors. Okay. And the coordinates of the circumcenter is given by the equations SA is equal to SB is equal to SC. SA is equal to SB is equal to SC. If you treat circumcenter is some S alpha comma beta. What is SA and SB and SC, which is equal to circumradius capital R. If you are making the circle with the circumradius R, that will be passing through all the three vertices of the triangle A, B and C. Such a circle is said to be circumcircle, and the radius is circumradius and the center is circumcenter. Here with the perpendicular what we are taking from the incenter to its side, we'll get in radius. With that in radius, if you make the circle, that will be touching all the three sides of the triangle internally. Okay, that radius is in radius, and the circle is called in circle, and the center is called in center. So this is what the scenario. And what about the point of it? Whose point of intersection is the in center? The point of intersection of the angular bisectors. Whereas here medians. Centroid means medians, and in center means angular bisectors, and circumcenter means perpendicular bisectors. So this is very important. You should not undergo the confusion at all. Remember with some logic. Fine. Now let's go ahead with the next concept, that is orthocenter. What is the next concept? Orthocenter. Orthocenter of the triangle nothing but, as if we have learnt in case of centroid, incenter and circumcenter, here also for some triangle ABC, for some triangle ABC. Okay, let's say I am taking some triangle ABC in this way. We can make the altitudes from vertex A, vertex B and vertex C. Here I am talking about altitude. I am not talking about perpendicular bisector. When you are talking about perpendicular bisector, that bisects the side, means that divides into equal part. Okay. Now here I am talking about the altitudes from the vertex A, vertex B and vertex C. Means that altitude may divide the opposite side in the same ratio or not. If you are taking equilateral triangle, then it divides. If you are not taking equilateral triangle, that won't. Okay. So here altitude is different from the perpendicular bisector. Okay. Yeah. So let's say AD is one altitude, means it is making 90 degrees at the point where it is going to cut the line segment BC. Let's say its feet is D. At D is said to be feet of the altitude which we have taken from vertex A. What do we call D? D is the altitude which we have taken from vertex. D is the feet of the altitude which is taken from the vertex A. Similarly, if you are taking the vertex from point B, okay, vertex B, let's say its feet is some E. And similarly, if you are taking from vertex C, let's say its feet is some F. Okay. Now, the point of intersection of all these three altitudes, the point of intersection of all these three altitudes are going to be concurrent. Such a point, or the point of concurrence of that particular triangle is said to be orthocenter. So now you define what is orthocenter. Orthocenter of the triangle nothing but the point of intersection of the altitudes which are taken from vertex A, vertex B and vertex C. Okay, such a and such a point is said to be orthocenter. Now, as I said you, in case of the equilateral triangle or isosceles triangle, the altitude and the perpendicular bisector what we are taking is going to be the same point, because here when you are taking the altitude from vertex A, that will divide exactly at the midpoint in case of the equilateral triangle, and hence in case of the equilateral and other type of triangles you should be very careful. Okay. Now what about the location of the orthocenter based on the types of triangles? Okay. What is the nature of the different types of triangles we have here? One is acute angle triangle, other one is obtuse angle, and other one is right angle. What type of triangles? Acute, obtuse and right angle triangles. Okay. In case of acute angle triangle, orthocenter means we denote it by H. Okay. Orthocenter H lies inside. Where it lies? Inside. In case of obtuse angle triangle, orthocenter lies outside. And in case of right angle triangle, orthocenter lies means which is going to be the point of intersection of the perpendiculars what we are taking. For suppose here we are taking the right angle triangle ABC, which is right angle at B. Since we are talking about the orthocenter, like the definition of orthocenter is the point of intersection of altitudes. Can I say AB and BC are altitudes? I can, because these two are the perpendiculars to each other. Therefore, what will be the orthocenter of right angle triangle? Vertex B. So that's the reason when you are talking about right angle triangle, orthocenter is at where it is right angled. Where it is right angled. Hope you understand. When you are talking about the acute angle triangle, orthocenter lies inside, and the obtuse angle triangle, orthocenter lies outside, and right angle triangle, orthocenter is a vertex where it is right angled, because in case of the right angle triangle, ABC, AB and BC are the altitudes of this particular triangle, and hence the point of intersection of altitudes is the orthocenter. So that the point of intersection of AB and BC is B, and hence we call this is the orthocenter of the right triangle. Hope you understand. I repeat, what is orthocenter? Orthocenter of the triangle nothing but the point of intersection of the altitudes what are taken from vertex A, vertex B and vertex C. because all the three are concurrent and the point of concurrence is said to be orthocenter. And when it comes to the location of the orthocenter, in acute lies inside, obtuse lies outside, and in case of right, where it is going to be right angle. Okay, so now we have clarity over all the types of centers. At first, when you are dealing with the centroid, you are dealing with medians of the triangle. Okay, point of intersection of medians is centroid. And when you are dealing with incenter, angular bisectors, means the point of intersection of angular bisectors is incenter. When you are dealing with circumcenter, the point of intersection of perpendicular bisectors, PB, means all the three perpendicular bisectors are concurrent and hence the point of intersection is said to be circumcenter. And when you are dealing with altitudes, you will say that is orthocenter, means the point of intersection of altitudes is said to be orthocenter. GTSH, centroid, GISH, centroid, incenter, circumcenter and orthocenter. These are the four different types of centers we have learned so far. Now let's see what is excenter of the triangle. Excenter of the triangle in the sense, since you are talking about excenter, definitely we are going to get the center of the triangle outside of it. Means how we are going to get, let's say triangle ABC, okay, we have something like this. When we are talking about in center, we are taking the angular bisectors of A, B and C. When you are talking about the excenter, it is a point of intersection of the external angle bisectors. The point of intersection of the external angle bisectors what are taken from both exterior angles. Can I say these particular angles are exterior angles? When I extend AB and AC, I can. Also, one internal angle bisector, what is taken from vertex A. This particular point. I repeat, what is excenter of the triangle? Excenter of the triangle nothing but the point of intersection of two external angle bisectors and one internal angle bisector. When you are extending AB, AC, these two angles are external angles and these two lines are going to be external angle bisectors. And this is going to be internal angle bisector. All the three are concurrent. Such a point is said to be excenter 1, I1 we denote it by I1. Why I say I1? Because here such kind of possibilities are there for opposite to vertex A, opposite to vertex B and opposite to vertex C. Because when I extend BA, also when I extend BC, I will be getting another excenter by taking the two angular bisectors of external angles and one internal angle bisector what I am taking from vertex B. See, when I extended AB and AC, I have got the excenter opposite to vertex A. When I am extending BA and BC, I am getting the excenter opposite to vertex B. This I will denote it by some I2. Fine. And similarly, what else possible? Which will be opposite to vertex C. Means I will be extending CA as well I will be extending CB. Now the point of intersection of two external angle bisectors, what are they? These two, and one internal angle bisector what I am taking from vertex C. This is said to be excenter 3, I3. Means here for triangle ABC, we could take three excenters which are opposite to vertex A, opposite to vertex B and opposite to vertex C. While taking the excenters, we will be taking two angular bisectors of external angles and one internal angle bisector. And those centers we denote by I1, I2 and I3. And with these I1, I2, I3 centers, okay, with the radius what we are going to get, okay, which is perpendicular to this, okay, which is perpendicular to this, similarly which is perpendicular to this. With this particular radius, we can take the circles, which is touching the extended sides of the line segments AB, the extended sides of the line segment AB and AC, as well it also touches the side BC. Such a circle is called X circle 1. What do we call? X circle 1, and the radius we denoted by R1. And similarly, if you are going to take the circle with the radius of a perpendicular distance, whatever we are getting, you will be getting another circle. That circle is said to be X circle 2 and the radius is R2. And when dealing with this particular circle, you will be getting a third one, that is X circle 3 opposite to vertex C, and its radius is denoted by R3. So the X radii of the triangle ABC are R1, R2 and R3. What about in circle and in radius? Smaller. You denote the in radius by smaller and you denote the X radius by small r1, r2 and r3, because we are having three possibilities for the triangle ABC. One is opposite to vertex A, one is opposite to vertex B, and the last one is opposite to vertex C. See, this complete scenario is new for you people. Listen carefully. These are the different types of the centers we have for the triangle. It comes under one umbrella, that is centroid, incenter, circumcenter, orthocenter and excenter. Okay, now we'll go with some applications on this particular concept. Okay, so that I can give you some confidence over this. Let us see. The first problem here we have A 3x1 3y1, A 3x1 3y1, B 3x2 3y2 and C 3x3 3y3. 3x3 3y3 are the vertices of a triangle. Please note down, are the vertices of a triangle with orthocenter H, with orthocenter H at x1 plus x2 plus x3, y1 plus y2 plus y3, y1 plus y2 plus y3. Then what is angle ABC? Here we have options. Option 1 pi by 2, option 2 pi by 3, option 3 pi by 6, option 4 pi by 4. See here the question speaks about the orthocenter of the triangle framed by these three coordinates is at this particular point. Then what is angle ABC? Means, for suppose you are taking this is the required triangle, you need to find out this angle. To find out this particular angle, at first we are supposed to know what is the nature of the triangle framed by these coordinates. Okay, this is a very logical question. When you see, you feel very complex, but there is a logical point. If you can understand, you can close this problem in a single step. See here with the for the given coordinates, if I'll frame the centroid, for the given coordinates, if I'll take the centroid, what is centroid of the triangle ABC? Sum of the x coordinates by 3 and sum of the y coordinates by 3. So what is sum of the x coordinates? 3x1 plus 3x2 plus 3x3 by 3. Means 3 is a common factor. x1 plus x2 plus x3 by 3. And similarly, sum of the y coordinates, again 3 is a common factor. y1 plus y2 plus y3 by 3. Gets cancelled, gets cancelled. Centroid is equal to x1 plus x2 plus x3 and y1 plus y2 plus y3. See, I think now you can get connected with the concept what I am telling. Here centroid coordinates and the orthocenter coordinates what are provided in the problem are same. This is a logical point. What is that? The coordinates what we obtained for centroid and the coordinates what we obtained for the orthocenter, means coordinates what are given in the problem itself for orthocenter is the same. And hence, in what triangle it is possible? Orthocenter and centroid coincide only in equilateral triangle. Therefore, the triangle is going to be of the type equilateral, and hence every angle in equilateral triangle is 60 degrees. So what is angle ABC? 60 degrees. Therefore, the required option is pi by 3, because pi by 3 radians, nothing but 180 degrees by 3, which will give you 60 degrees. This is a logical point here. You are tracing out the centroid coordinates, and that is going to be equal to the orthocenter coordinates what are provided, so that you understand the given triangle is equilateral, and hence in equilateral triangle every angle is going to be 60 degrees. How many? 60 degrees. Okay, fine. Let's go with the next problem. Circumradius of the triangle. Circumradius of the triangle means circumradius in the sense capital R. We have already discussed in the theoretical part. What is circumradius? Capital R. We denote it by capital R. With what is S? 2a comma 0, 2a comma 2b, and 0 comma 2b. We have the options 2 times of root a square plus b square, and root a square plus b square by 2, and root 2a square plus b square, and the fourth option is root a square plus b square. Here we are supposed to calculate the circumradius for the triangle framed by 2a0, 2a2b and 0 2b. I've told you number of times earlier, when you are having the coordinates, first you see whether is there any possibility of getting the horizontal line and vertical line with these provided coordinates. There is a chance. What is that? For suppose if you take the x-axis and y-axis, definitely 2a comma 0 lies on x-axis somewhere. Let's say this is 2a comma 0 and this is 0 comma 2b. You can find the distances generally and you can understand what is the type of the triangle. But here when you see the coordinates, we can understand easily that it is going to be some special type of triangle which we can understand easily by making the a small figure for this. 2a comma 0 in the sense y coordinate is 0 and hence that point lies on the x-axis. 0 comma 2b in the sense that lies on the y-axis because x coordinate is 0, and 2a comma 2b means it is of 2a length and it is of 2b length, and hence this coordinate is going to be 2a comma 2b. So what type of triangle you are getting? A right triangle. See how nice you can understand. This is of 2a length, so this is of 2a length. This is of 2b length and hence this is of 2b length. So we are getting a right triangle, okay, at the point 2a comma 2b. Now what is the hypotenuse? This is hypotenuse. Okay, and what about the circumcenter? I have told you very clearly, in case of the right triangle, circumcenter is the midpoint of the hypotenuse. What is very circumcenter? Circumcenter is the midpoint of the hypotenuse, and hence here if you can trace out the, we are talking about the circumradius. Okay, fine. Since we are talking about the circumradius, it is enough to take the length of this particular portion and divide it by 2. Why? Because as I told you, the midpoint of the hypotenuse is the circumcenter, means let's say this is some circumcenter S. We are talking about either SA or SB. SB is equal to SA, and that is equal to capital R because we are talking about circumradius. I have told you, in a triangle ABC, from the circumradius, if you take the distance to any of these vertices, that is said to be circumradius, and that we denote by capital R. Similarly, SA or SB is going to be capital R, and hence if you trace out this total length and if you divide it by 2, you will be getting the circumradius. What is the distance between 2 points 2a comma 0 and 0 comma 2b? Root over of 2a minus 0 whole square means 2a whole square plus 0 minus 2b whole square means minus 2b whole square. AB is equal to, therefore AB is equal to 2 square, and here also minus 2 whole square means we will be getting plus 4. 4 if you take common factor, you will be getting 2. 2 times of root a square plus b square. Now what is needed here? Circumradius means I am taking half, AB by 2. AB by 2 in the sense 2 times of root a square plus b square by 2. 2 and 2 gets cancelled, so that we are getting circumradius, that is capital R is equal to root a square plus b square. Which option? Fourth option. See how logical the question here. Immediately one should not go directly by applying the distance formula and checking the nature. This kind of approach you should get habituated, then only you can crack any kind of competitive exam. If you'll be thinking only in the traditional manner, you can't approach, you can't crack it. Getting my point? Immediately when I saw the coordinates, I just thought that this is a point on x-axis and this is a point on y-axis, and we have 2a and 2b as the common point, means it is going to be a right angle triangle. With that idea, I have approached the solution. Fine. Let's go to the next problem. Here we have the vertices of the triangle. The next problem is the vertices of the triangle are 6, 6, 0, 6 and 6, 0. Then the distance between circumcenter and centroid. Distance between circumcenter S and centroid means we are supposed to calculate SG. And the options provided: 2 root 2, 2 root 2, 1 by 2. Again, when you see the nature of the coordinates, here we have something like 6, 6, 0, 6 and 6, 0. Means these type of coordinates are going to frame what type of triangle? Right angle triangle, because here it is something like A comma B, it is something like 0 comma B, it is something like A comma 0. The coordinates of the type A0, 0B and AB will frame the right angle triangle, which is right angle at what point? Right angle at 6, 6, means you will be getting this type of triangle. Let's say this is 6, 0 and this is 0, 6 and this is, tell me, this point is going to be 6, 6. Where it is right angle? At this particular point it is right angle. Now we are talking about the distance between S and G, means distance between circumcenter and centroid. When you are talking about centroid, okay, that is given by sum of the x coordinates by 3 and sum of the y coordinates by 3. Centroid is equal to 6 plus 0 plus 6, 12 by 3. And similarly 6 plus 6 plus 0, 12 by 3, which will give you 4, 4. Means centroid of this particular triangle is 4, 4. And also circumcenter, I have told you just now. In case of right angle triangle, what is circumcenter? Midpoint of the hypotenuse. What is midpoint of these two coordinates? 6 by 2 means 3 and 0 plus 6 by 2 again 3. So circumcenter coordinates are 3, 3. So S is equal to 3, 3. Now we are asked to calculate GS, means distance between these 2 points, means 4, 4 and 3, 3. Calculate 4 minus 3 whole square, 1 plus 4 minus 3 whole square, 1, which will give you root 2. So which is the suitable option here? Root 2. See, all these questions are we are doing only with the logical thinking. Hope you are getting. See, getting such kind of knowledge is very, very important. Try to make the figure. Okay. Here the given coordinates are going to frame the right angle triangle at 6, 6. When you see the nature of these two coordinates, here you have y coordinates equal with different x coordinates, so horizontal. Okay, here x coordinates are equal with different y coordinates, means vertical, horizontal and vertical. Okay, let's see the next problem. The coordinates of the vertices of the triangle are 0, 0, root 3, 3, minus root 3, 3. Then what is the incenter? We can have the approach in two ways. That in one way we can take the distances of the sides of the triangle and we will understand what type of triangle it is, so that we can try to work out the incenter directly by the formula what we have taken. Sides we can take, lengths of the sides we can take, and the coordinates are given. But if you check the nature of the triangle, that becomes easy, because here when we have the irrational coordinates, then such type of coordinates will frame the equilateral triangle. In case of equilateral triangle, incenter coincides with centroid. Incenter coincides with centroid. Therefore, calculating centroid is easy rather than calculating incenter. That's the reason. First let me justify how it is going to make the equal triangle here by taking the distances. What is distance between these two? Square root of root 3 minus 0 whole square 3. 3 minus 0 whole square 9, so which is equal to root 12. One length is root 12. And distance between other two, minus root 3 minus root 3, minus 2 root 3 whole square, and 3 minus 3 whole square 0. So which will give you square root of minus 2 whole square plus 4 and root 3 whole square 3 means 12. And distance between these two, what you are going to get? Minus root 3 minus 0 whole square means you are going to get 3, and 3 minus 0 whole square means 9, root 12. See how simply we could understand here how the irrational coordinates are going to frame the equilateral triangle. This point you can remember. Therefore, the given coordinates will frame equilateral triangle. In equilateral triangle, in center coincide with centroid. Therefore, calculating in center becomes difficult than calculating the centroid, and hence we'll trace out the coordinates of centroid, and they are the coordinates of in center also. So, what are the coordinates of centroid? x1 plus x2 plus x3 by 3. 0 plus root 3 minus root 3 means 0 by something 0, and 0 plus 3 plus 3, 6 by 3 will give you 2, and hence the coordinates of centroid or the coordinates of in center are 0, 2, and hence the suitable option is 1. See here, with the help of the with some logical thinking, we are trying to solve all these applications. So don't be panic when you see different difficult problems while doing objective questions. Okay, so feel confident. Tomorrow I'm going to send you one worksheet along with the video also, or after completion of video I will send you. Try to do those problems so that you can understand and you can get confidence in you. Thank you.